I was never the kind of man to believe in ghosts. Until that night. The night I drove the A75 Kinmont Strait, Scotland's most haunted road. It's a narrow strip of tarmac cutting through Dumfries and Galloway, quiet, remote. And if you ask the locals, cursed, they call it the Ghost Road. Every driver has a story. And now, so do I. It was early March, a misty, cold night. I was driving back from a delivery in Stranraer, heading east toward Carlisle. The rain had just stopped, leaving the road slick and shining under the moonlight. My co-driver, Neil, had dozed off in the passenger seat, his head against the window. I kept one hand on the wheel, the other nursing a lukewarm cup of coffee. The radio was playing some old Scottish folk tune when it started to crackle. Then the signal just died. That's when I saw the figure. A man standing right in the middle of the road, waving his arms, screaming. I slammed the brakes. Sound, tires screeching, heartbeat thumping. The truck skidded to a stop, missing him by inches. Neil jolted awake. What the hell? But when we looked again, there was no one there. The road was empty. I stepped out with my flashlight, calling out, "Hey, you okay?" Only the wind answered. That's when Neil shouted from inside the truck, "Dave, get back in." I turned and froze. Behind me, standing at the edge of the light, was a horse-drawn carriage. Old-fashioned, covered in mud. A single lantern swaying in the wind, and sitting in the carriage were 3 people, staring straight at me. Their faces were pale, almost gray, their eyes hollow, black pits that reflected the light. The horse snorted, steam rising from its nostrils, and then the entire carriage began to move. Slowly at first, then faster. Directly toward me, I stumbled backward, tripped, and fell onto the wet road. Just before impact, it vanished. Gone. Neil ran out and helped me up, shaking. "Dave, what the hell was that?" I couldn't speak. My throat was dry. I just pointed to the empty road and said, "It went through me." He looked at me like I was losing my mind. But I wasn't. At least, I don't think I was. We kept driving, silent, both too scared to talk. The mist thickened, the headlights barely cut through it. Then, out of nowhere, a flock of birds hit the windshield. Dozens of them, slamming into the glass like bullets. Neil screamed. I swerved, trying to keep control, and the truck skidded into the shoulder. When we stopped, I realized something impossible. There were no birds. Not one feather. Not one mark. Just clean glass. Neil whispered, "Did you hear that?" I did. Children's laughter. I turned off the engine. The sound didn't stop. It grew louder, circling us, echoing from everywhere. Then I saw them, small shadows darting between the fog, running, playing like kids on a playground. But their movements were wrong. Too fast, too smooth. One of them stopped right in front of my window. A little girl in a tattered blue dress. She smiled, raised her hand, and pressed it against the glass. Her hand left a black mark, like soot. That was enough. I floored it, speeding down the straight road. praying it would end. But no matter how long we drove, the same trees, the same curves, the same fence posts kept passing by. Neil checked his watch and whispered, "Dave, it's been 3:17 a.m. for 20 minutes. The clock wasn't moving. The GPS had frozen. It was like we were driving in circles, trapped in some endless loop. Finally, we saw lights up ahead, the glow of a small petrol station. We pulled in, shaking, exhausted. The man inside looked surprised to see us. "Evening, lads. You two all right? You look like you've seen a ghost." Neil muttered, "Maybe we have." We told him what happened. The man's face turned pale. He said quietly, "You're not the first. That road, it's been haunted for generations. They call it the Kinmont Curse." He went on, "People see all sorts, carriages, soldiers, children, even whole convoys that disappear. The police have searched it for years. Nothing, but every decade or so, another driver comes in like you, shaking, white as a ghost." He poured us each a cup of tea and said, "Best advice, never drive the A75 after midnight." We nodded, thanked him, and sat there till dawn. When daylight finally broke, we got back on the road. Everything looked normal, peaceful, even. But when we passed the spot where we'd seen the man waving, I noticed something on the side of the road. A small wooden cross, weathered, with the name Ferguson carved into it. Neil whispered, "That's the guy who first reported the hauntings back in the 50s. I didn't answer, because right then I saw something that made my blood run cold. In the reflection of the side mirror, a little girl in a blue dress sitting quietly in the back seat, smiling. They say time doesn't move right on the A75, that once you enter it, part of you never leaves. I haven't driven at night since that trip. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I still see that endless road stretching ahead, and hear the faint echo of children laughing in the fog.